Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. Josh here with Josh's Lawn and Landscape. Um, well, the schedule continues to shift. Continues, not contends, continues to shift around. That's the nature of it sometimes. No pun intended on that one, but it's been shifting due to nature as of late. With actually last week where I had the two days of rain. I had a day earlier this week where there was a very good threat of rain, so I made an adjustment for that. And then today, which is not a weather-related delay, but I had to work over a little bit at work. So the jobs that I had scheduled to do, I would not have time to get to the jobs and finish them both. And that's the two lake properties. And so I tend to do those together, the one that's further out, and then I catch the other one on the way back in, obviously, so I can get both of those done while I'm on that side of town, so to speak. And with having to work over today and having a little less daylight in recent weeks, I'm just not going to have time to go all the way out to the first property, which I wouldn't have any trouble getting out there and getting that one done. But then once I got there, got that one done, and made it back to the second one, I don't think I would have enough daylight to finish that one as well. And so I just messaged them both, and I said, well, I apologize that I had to work over today, so probably be one more day. Both of them said no problem, don't worry about it. And so, excuse me. But I do have a property that is closer to work down here in this area that I mow. So what I'm going to do is I've got to stop up the road here and gas up the truck, and I'll be right down the road a couple miles from that yard. So I'm at least going to go get that one. I made the joke to, I believe it was Mr. Gerald. So shout out to Mr. Gerald over at Clean and Green Lawn Service. I told him that lately I've been scheduling yards like a multivitamin, one a days. So that's kind of where I've been lately with that, is which with the way my schedule works, I have an early week and a late week. So in the early week, I go in at 6, I get off at 3, which gives me 5 to 6 hours of daylight basically after work, 5.5 this time of year, because it's getting dark about 8:30. And then late week I work is 8 to 5. The only hold up with that is it still gives me 3 to 3.5 hours. But on days like today where we have a breakdown with a piece of equipment and one of the techs has to go out and do repair, I have to wait for him to get back to the shop to make sure nothing else is needed. So it cost me about 35 or 40 minutes today extra before I could actually leave the shop. So there again, you know, when you've got a considerable drive to a property, it just doesn't make sense to... Oh, wow. Sorry, y'all. I'm driving by a gas station, and they have unleaded regular for $3.02. Ooh, boy. And it looks like the state fair out there. There's so many cars parked out there. They'll be out of gas by tomorrow. And then if you've got their special credit line card or super saver card or whatever they call it, it's actually another 10 cent off. So you could actually get gas for an amount that starts with a 2. But hey, we're closing in on the election. That's typical. I won't get into that. So, what was I talking about? Scheduling, getting caught back up. I did contact the gentleman who is listed as the contact for that church and cemetery property, just because I had a couple of questions that I wanted to ask him. I left him a message with my phone number. I have not heard back from him yet today. I may give him a call short before I get to this property up here once I stop with this intro, and see if I can get a hold of him, because he's probably working as well, and just so I can clarify a couple things in order to be able to nail down a better price quote, so and put that together for him. So I am going to at least throw my hat in the ring, so to speak, for that job. If it winds up being something that I get, I will have to also analyze that scenario and say, okay, if I get this property, what do I have to let go of? I have 4 or 5 properties in mind that I currently do. And yeah, so we'll see how that pans out. This property up here that I'm going to is usually relatively thick, and I'm only, I think, 2 days behind on it, because normally I would have done it Tuesday of this week, and so today's Thursday, and it's bi-weekly property. But I wanted to talk about also here in this, the scheduling part. What I started off this video with is, I think, shout out to Johnny over at Upscale. He was, watched a video of his, and he was asking about mowing on Sunday. And just, I think he typically doesn't mow much at all, if ever, on the weekend, unless it's a weather thing. And he had a bunch of rain delays and things of that nature. So I'm the same way, which most of my stuff is probably Saturdays, and then a couple of afternoons a week, since I'm not quote unquote full time. It's not my sole source of income, but I do occasionally have to, I won't say have to, or I do occasionally mow on a Sunday. It's usually in the afternoon. This past Sunday I had to, just because of the way the scheduling worked out with the rain delay and moving properties around and all that kind of stuff. So it happens. It's not a norm, but you just kind of have to do what you got to do sometimes in this profession, so to speak, and get it done, because you're liable to run into a situation like Ray. Shout out to Ray over at Ray's Lawn and Landscape, where his wasn't a weather delay, but a property got put off, and I think that it was because of the customer. But when you do that and you can't cycle it through the schedule till another regular scheduled cut time, and you double the growth period for the lawn, you end up with a massive amount of a double / triple cutting, recutting, whatever you want to call it, to alright, kicked into passing gear going up this hill. The trailer's creating some drag. And we talking about me, Mr. Gerald? I know he's gonna call me out in the comments. He'll be commenting that by the gas I'm burning up pulling a Ray. So but you know, stuff like that, it's different when it's weather delays, obviously. But in Ray's case, he had a customer kind of put him off, and I think that's something to where whether you have a verbal agreement or a written agreement / contract, whatever you want to say, with the customer, that hey, short of weather delays or medical emergencies, if you're telling me, no, I just don't want you to cut it for some oddball reason, then you know, it's going to be an upcharge when I come back. And I don't think that's unreasonable. I think it's fair to go that route, just to say, well, you know, we had an agreement to cut this yard every 2 weeks. I show up on schedule, which is, you know, what you're paying me to do, and you're asking me to hold off, and I end up having to do 2 or 3 times the work. When I do get to come back and cut it, then, you know, there just needs to be an upcharge for that service. I think that's only fair, to the points that Ray made, as well as what I was talking about, where you're having to go over it 2 and 3 times as much as you normally would. It's a lot more wear on your equipment. It's obviously more time involved, and all of that comes at a cost to you, the provider. So just a couple of things I wanted to throw in there, and I think I've rambled on long enough here at the beginning. I'm going to try to get some mowing footage here on this property. Most of y'all have seen it, but it's always some good footage when you can take the tall grass and make it short. So take a look at it. I'll try to get some footage, probably be some real time. I don't know if I'll do any time lapse on this one, and it'll probably be some of the good old wash and wax over here, as I like to call it. So that's kind of my phrase. I've never really heard anybody else talk about it or describe it that way, so just some silly thing I came up with, I think it was last year sometime, just as a term to coin, a kind of a double cutting pattern. Is, you know, you rough cut it the first time and you probably have a few stragglers, so that's the wash, and then you come back with the wax on the second pass to clean it all up, make it nice and smooth. So that's where we're at with that one, this property over here. So let me handle, I'm about to get off the exit here and get some fuel, and got to do a right here, because I got a small gap here I got to get in to get off of this exit, because these boys are tightening up here and bobbing and weaving. So I'll be back when I get to the property, so y'all hang around. Alright y'all, so you see I got my 94R out, well, one of them with a Darwin's grip, and I'll be trimming this one out shortly. But this one, my other 94R, is going to need a replacement cap here. So I actually went on ahead and ordered 2 of those from my Speed Feed 400. Get that done. Got the quick track here. Gonna try to get it mowing a little grass here today. And if you can tell, this stuff is kind of thick there. You can see, pretty tall. We're taking it down to about 2.5. We'll go all the way down to the edge of the field there. I think that's cotton plants back there. They got a cotton field. So back to about that point right there, and this little strip around the front of the house. This little area on the other side, it gets this real thick right in there. I think that's where the septic field is. And then I'll try to get some footage back that way. And then over here, you can see, oh look, we got a kitty cat. Hey buddy. Oh, come on now, I'm not that bad. But, as you can see, make some good footage here. This is always a good spot just because it's open and you can get a good perspective of what's going on. So, gonna get started with it. I'm probably gonna trim it out first, and then I'll do some videoing of the mowing after that. So stick around. Enough of this talking. Let's get some grass cut. pretty good. A lot of thatch. You can see this stuff was pretty thick. So, and one more shot of the roadside. It's all natural material out here, so don't worry about that. I didn't get any footage right up here, but there's that little area. Side yard here. And across the front. So, looks pretty good. Adjust the camera and I'll be right back. Whew, all right, y'all. So, kind of seen the finished product there. I hope you enjoyed it. Basically, I probably got footage of roughly 3/4 of the yard, so kind of a whole yard, basically a real-time mowing video. So, you seen the quick track knocking it out. A little wash and wax in there, cleaning it up. So, hopefully you enjoyed all that. And let me know your thoughts on the stuff discussed in the intro, like cut schedule, making up for the delays, and I think that's pretty much it. I still got to do the muffler on the quick track, so I'm gonna try to do some sort of video on that. I know a couple people have mentioned that they will be looking forward to that. I know Wild Bill over there, shout out to Wild Bill. And I'm gonna do this. This ain't a sky shot. Well, it kind of is a sky shot, but I'm gonna put this one in there because I just think it's a good picture. Got the night sky over there, sunset. So hopefully that come out decent. But I did not get to stop and get gas earlier. There was just too many people there. They were running a special at that gas station for 3 hours. There was no limit on the amount of gas you could get, and they actually were knocked 40 cents a gallon off of the gas. That's why it was $2.89. So still won't be too bad, I guess, if it's gone back up, because it ended at 7. So even if I guess if it's $3.29, that's still a pretty good price considering where gas is at right now. So I got my Monster. I got me some peanut butter and cheese crackers, and I'm going to get some gas for the truck, top it off, and head to the house. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank y'all very much for watching. I appreciate the support as always. I believe at last count I was at, I think, around 884 subs. Thank y'all again. I repeat that numerous times because I just want y'all to know how much I appreciate the support for the channel. Creeping up on 900 and then going on up towards 1,000. So we'll get there, and just going to enjoy the trip there and on past that. So so I got a lot going on. Like I said, muffler stuff coming up, catching back up with grass. The bid that I'm going to try to do on the big church property, and then rearranging my schedule, and possibly not sure how many properties I may end up having to drop with that. I have to do some serious researching and looking into that. And so again, let's say shout out to Wild Bill over at Wild Bill's Lawn Care, Mr. Gerald at Clean and Green, Ray over at Ray's Lawn and Landscape. And I want to throw one in here I didn't mention earlier, Chris over at Chopping Blades. If you haven't yet, check him out. I know most of the people that's probably subscribed to me watch Chris's channel as well, but good dude, does a good job. Check him out. Again, that's Chopping Blades. And I know there was another one I mentioned back in the video, so I'm probably going to have to watch my super long intro that was probably a good 10 minutes or better, me running my mouth in the truck. But I'll have to go back and make sure that I remember to tag them all in the description so that y'all can click on them and check those out. So thank y'all. I appreciate all the support. As always, y'all be safe, be kind, be blessed, and catch you on the next one. Thanks, everybody.